Hello everybody and welcome back once again to Casual Gamer Oz. Our F1 2016 career mode in the second season continues. We are in Monaco, Monte Carlo, the jewel of the Formula 1 crown. And before we get into qualifying, let's take a little bit of a look back on Ben Waterworth from Sauber and his career in Spain. 19th on the grid. It was a wet qualifying, not too satisfied with that. And not really satisfied with the race result. I basically got taken out by Rio Haryanto on the start line. Didn't even make it barely 500 metres and I was done. So that was my Spanish Grand Prix. Not more to show other than a Manor driving in the back of me. Speaking of driving into things, you know I'm probably going to drive into the barrier twice here in Monaco. So let's get to this. 22nd last year on the grid in Monaco with a dry race. So slight positive. But my goal for Monaco is to finish the race. It's that simple. You've heard me talk about the fact that I had 3 DNFs in a row basically last season from Russia through to Monaco. And generally you know that Monaco I'm going to have to find my way in a wall at some point. So yeah, I'm going to say that we're going to have 3 DNFs in a row here as well. But it really shouldn't have been the case in both, well, particularly Russia. Spain, who knows what could have happened there. But again, as always, I do like Monaco. It's just, it's definitely a very hard circuit. And given this is Casual Gamer Oz, and you know I generally suck at this game. Not really suck, I just do it a little bit differently to most of all the pro gamers out there. That my ability here is not going to be too well. The team wants me in 21st. I'm currently in 21st. Which is decent as I clip the wall ever so slightly. And, oh, I take that actually quite well. I was quite satisfied with that. But I'm still going to end up in dead last. Oh, I did what I did last year in Razcast. Just nearly parked myself in Schumacher style it into the wall there. And as we're going to come down the straight, once again, a tidy-ish lap. I just don't have the balls to really push it as hard as I probably should. So 22nd, again, no surprise, but I'm more satisfied with the fact that I didn't end up in the barrier. So we'll be having it all to do ahead of the race day tomorrow. So let's do this. And of course, already mentioned DNF last year in Monaco. So we want to try and break this duck of 3 DNFs in a row, repeating exactly what happened last year, just with worse qualifying. But we'll just try and keep our nose safe coming into the opening lap and just try and maintain a position. We've got to just be no doubt in 21st or higher, and that will be satisfactory enough for Sauber. So let's get busy with the fizzy and go into a dry Monaco. You know, at least I'm going to be happy next round Canada. It's the scene of my past glory in the previous year, my first podium and pole position, so we've got that to look forward to, and a few races that I do like. Qualifying now, I'm sure we're going to have Mercedes in the front row, unless the McLaren can spring a surprise. Let's have a look. And Hamilton and Rosberg, Alonso and Button. So McLaren's in 3rd and 4th. The McLaren's are doing quite well this season. Vettel and Raikkonen. Will we have the Red Bulls? Yes. Will we have the Force Indies and the Williams in unison? No. We have Perez and Bottas. Grosjean in 11th. Hulkenberg in 12th place. Massa 13th. Gutierrez 14th. Sainz in 15th. The Toro Rosso is really struggling. Verline, can he get a point for Manor? Kvyat, Haryanto, Magnussen, Palmer, Nazar and myself. Good news is I don't have Haryanto behind me, so maybe I'll repay the favour and take him out. Of course, Manor yet to score any points in any of the career modes that we've done so far. Alrighty, we're about to get into this, folks. Monaco, if I can't last a lap in Spain, I don't know how long I'm going to last here. The lights, once again, holding very, very long now. I'm going to keep Nazar, my teammate, there just on the right-hand side. We're going to brake very, very early. Allow the carnage to happen in front of us. I'm going to sweep around here on my teammate. Get a bit of a run. I get a warning for a collision there. I don't think I took him. Touched him, I should say. But I was cautious at the beginning, and that allowed me to make up a couple of positions. Now, last year, coming into the hairpin, that's where I damaged my front wing, and it was all down from there. And, of course, I remember crashing out last year. It was my first pit stop. And I crashed out just because I had lack of concentration. I didn't actually crash out of the Grand Prix due to... Whoa! Any damage with anybody, but holy crap, that was a big one. Okay, that was there was some carnage going on there. And I think it always does pay to possibly pit, and I think we will. Just because you don't want to drive around Monaco with no front wing, and I'm going to assume the guys behind me will also pit. So, oh, what did you do that for? I was about to say that is the point last year where I clipped the back end of the car and spun around, and just as I had that thought process, I managed to drive into the barrier. This is worse than last year, I feel. So watch this. You're not even going to see it on camera. What is that stupid move? Oh, I reckon. Let's, can we possibly go on board here and see from the back of a Toro Rosso to see if we can see? No. That is just plain embarrassing, Ben. You do not deserve to be playing this game. Watch this. Turns in, tra-la-la-la-la, boof. Yeah, you fail at life. That is just ridiculous. Yep, 3 retirements in a row, just like it was last year, and I've just failed miserably in the last 2 races. Yeah, I want to see this start. I want to see what happened with the hairpin. What's going on here? We're not seeing any podium. Who won? Oh, Mercedes. What a surprise. Yeah, alright, Lewis, you won. Good on you, bro. Alonso got second. Alright, just go with a real-time start here, just because I was very cautious off the start line deliberately. But I managed to make up a few places, but they warned me for tagging my teammate. Now, I'm very intrigued to see how this happened. Coming into the first corner, oh, just a slight little touch. The tiniest of touches. He gets held up by a Renault and a Manor. A bit of damage, it seemed, to both of them there, so that allows me to get some positions, up the hill. And they're looking, I'm already nervous now with Harrianto behind me, or is that Verline actually there? Now, oh, getting very just late on the brakes there. Now, I'm going to be interested to see what's happening here. Oh, there's just a train there. You can just see it going on. They're just being held up. Now, I just want to come back here. I think we might just catch this just before it happens. So, as they're coming, they're just in train formation. There's nothing there. They're just slow. Then I guess it's more of a video game trope than anything. If you look at that, they're just kind of in a snail trail. Real life, that's not going to happen. So if you look at me there, I'm dead on the racing line, and by the time I've reacted, you'll see me here just try to avoid it. There we go. I've reacted, I've turned, and just not quick enough with the reaction. Because if you look at it there, if I'm turning right about there, if I'd have turned just a smidge earlier, I would have just gone zoom, straight down all of them there, and that would have made up a fantastic bunch of positions. But unfortunately, wasn't to be. Boof. And that damaged my front wing, and that kind of cost me anything that was going to happen here in Monaco. Alrighty, so Hamilton wins from Alonso in second, Rosberg third, Button, Vettel, Raikkonen, Verstappen, Ricciardo, Perez, and Hülkenberg. Good news, no Williams points, which means I should still be handily in that position in the championship. I am there in 10th. Hamilton leading from Rosberg, Ricciardo 3rd, Verstappen 4th, Alonso 5th, Button 6th, Vettel, Raikkonen, Perez, myself in 10th. Constructors, well, the Mercedes team are going to be leading it quite comfortably. They're 69 points clear of Red Bull, McLaren in 3rd, Ferrari in 4th, Force India 5th, Sauber still in 6th, mainly due to the fact that Williams have struggled a lot more than we have. Haas, and then Toro Rosso, Manor, and Renault still yet to score. So that's it for Monaco, the shortest 2 races in a row that you will ever see here on Casual Gamer Oz. And we'll be back for Canada. Yes, my favourite race, the scene of my maiden pole position and the scene of my maiden podium last season. So let's see how we go for that. Get excited from Canada. Like, subscribe, remember to leave us feedback, everything else in between. Thank you for tuning in to Casual Gamer Oz. We'll speak to you next time from Canada.